It is likely that you will be required to work with numbers in order to prepare forecasts, projections, budgets, financial expectations, growth goals, etc. Why is this often a difficult and challenging task? In order to make this easier and simplify the process, what must you do to become more comfortable and confident with your numbers and the commitments that they represent? What are some of the estimates and educated predictions that you are going to have to make through this exercise? Provide the names or labels that the numbers will represent. Working with numbers to prepare forecasts, projections, budgets, financial expectations, growth goals, etc. is often a difficult and challenging task because you may not be aware of and/or comfortable working with the numbers. You want to be realistic, consider it to be too random and elusive. Lack experience. Prefer to be non-committal, avoid potential pressure and disappointment. To make this easier and simplify the process, become more comfortable and confident with your numbers and the commitments that they represent by doing the following. Research historical account and territory information. Consider new business opportunities within existing and newly developed accounts. Ask questions of internal, experienced individuals. Ask for assistance. Rely on a coach, mentor, and/or manager. Establish growth goals that are optimistic, realistic, and challenging. This phrasing may seem contradictory, but once you have gone through this process through back-to-back years, you will experience a shift in mindset because of the valuable lessons learned that transform your attitude. It is common that you will have to make estimates and educated predictions during this exercise. Be sure to provide the names or labels that the numbers will represent. This will be sales representative, company, and industry-specific information including revenues, new market or product segments, unit placements, client accounts, percentages for growth. Thinking first about your 60-month focus, what is it that you hope to achieve or accomplish by the time this date occurs? Where do you need to direct your time, energy, and efforts? How are you going to make it difficult for someone else to come into your territory and meet the standard? What will make you proud in terms of building account, customer base numbers, building database, hitting revenue goals or targets, revenue or alternate revenue streams? For each of the following time frames, what are your top 5 business building priorities? Today's date, 60-month focus, date. This is the toughest priority for people to establish. It forces you to mentally move beyond today, tomorrow, next week, month, and quarter. Thinking 5 years into the future is difficult and challenging for the majority of people. Planning this far out requires you to accept that there are many unknowns, situations, and circumstances beyond your control. The fact is, people frequently plan this far out, they just don't write it down. Anyone who has committed to 2 to 7 years of post-secondary education had to set life priorities in order to be able to successfully accomplish their goals. 24-month focus, date. Once the most difficult part of the business building priorities is documented, more immediate priorities come clearly into focus. The path becomes clearer and the necessary direction becomes significantly more obvious. 12-month focus, date. When you know where you want to go in 5 years and have narrowed down your priorities for the next 2 years, then the final step of documenting priorities over the next year becomes a cinch. As a society, the majority of us tend to be much more comfortable with short-term planning. Is this because an instant gratification mindset is more prevalent? Achieving exceptional long-term results begins with a shift in thinking. Bill Gates said, most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. Stretch yourself mentally, begin planning for the long haul, and become the business leader that you are capable of becoming. Learning Spotlight number 2. It's time to review what we've covered so far. Each question in the quiz has a 90-second time limit, and the quiz has a 15-minute time limit. You cannot pause the quiz once you begin. The quiz includes many types of questions, including true or false, drag and drop, multiple answers, etc. Read the questions carefully and make sure you understand what is being asked before submitting your response. Many of the questions or variations of them will be included in the final exam. You will be graded, and the passing grade for the quiz is 70%. You will have 3 chances to attain a passing grade. If you fail to attain a passing grade after 3 attempts, you will be locked out of the course. You will have an opportunity to review the quiz responses upon successful completion. If you wish to review the previous slides and sections, do so before advancing. Upon completion of the quiz, please click on the green Next button with the white arrow in order to advance to the next step in the learning path. This concludes step number 4 of the learning path. Please click on the green Next button with the white arrow in order to advance when you are ready to proceed.